Another thing I wanted to share is these trees. These are 2 fig trees with multiple stems coming out. These things were attacked by gophers a couple of years ago. I think they've been in the ground now for about 3 years. And last year was the first year we actually got fruit off of them. So they're really thriving. They're doing great, but they are growing way too thick. So I'm gonna go through here probably within the next couple of weeks and thin them. But what I wanted to try doing is, since I'm cutting anyways, I put in these little cloning areas. So that foil is just to keep the sun off of the potential roots. Hopefully they'll grow. And these stems have been cut in I tried different cuts. A couple of them were just surface cuts. The other ones I cut all the way through, about halfway up the stem, sliced it, and then bent it, and then packed soil in there. And then I used just a Ziploc bag full of damp soil, and I cut this bag just to fit around that, whatever the wound area that I made. Wrapped it in grafting tape, which is really just like a thin strip of saran wrap. And then in about 6 weeks, they should have roots on them. And then I'll just cut them right below where the roots are, hopefully. And then pot them up and then have, if it works out, 5 brand new trees. So figs are one of the type of trees you can just root. Other trees like your apples, peaches, pears, any of those things, they're grafted to a root stock. But with figs, you can just grow them from whatever branch you can get roots to grow on. So we'll see how that goes. And then another thing I did all this right before the last storm we had roll through, was put down these row covers. And under there is different types of carrot seeds that I've been saving, and then Swiss chard, and a mix of carrots on these 2 beds over here that are covered in that white row cover. So just trying to keep things planted. We'll see how that goes as well. I also moved a bunch of green onions over from that tarped area that I killed off. An update on the garlic. The garlic overall is doing a lot better than last year. This section of garlic is probably my least vigorous growing, but a lot of times you'll read that like garlic's a natural deterrent for critters, but the gophers still love to eat it. So they've done quite a bit of damage on this section of garlic. So I've got some traps in there to try to take them out. But overall, the garlic is doing way better than last year. So a lot of my garlic last year was kind of about the size of these at about this time last year, but as you can see, a lot of them are much bigger. So overall, I'm hoping that I'll get a more sizable cloves or bulbs this year if I can keep the gophers off of them. So that's a whole area that the gophers decided to trim for me. Wasn't too happy about it, but that one I was able to get the gopher, so that was a little win. Those bulbs will keep growing, but there's a really good chance they're not going to get too big at all. You can eat them still as like green garlic too. So that's probably what I'll end up doing with anything like that just doesn't make it to where it's a nice sizable bulb to actually dry out and store. And I think I've got 6 to 8 different types of garlic in here too, hardneck and softneck, and very happy with how things are going. Again, aside from the gophers trying to take away all the garlic that I have.